Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. We are going to be talking about ionized hydrogen water. Why myself, my family, and our whole team love it so much. Why we've been using it in our practice for well over 10 years now. Why practically every one of our clients that has ever drank in it has got themselves a machine, and in no small part because of how friggin' awesome it is and what it's doing for people. Today, we're going to go over a lot. We're going to cover some basics on what ionized hydrogen water is, why we love it so much, what's so great about it, some of the problems with our current drinking water today, why it's even important for you and your family to research stuff like water filtration systems and ionized water machines and all these kinds of things, and then finally go into a very in-depth scientific breakdown of ionized water and what you can get out of having one of them in your kitchen. Because ultimately that's the most important thing. If you're not drinking the water every day, then it isn't really going to do a whole ton for you. So we're going to go over all that and hopefully share all the information that you guys might need before making a decision on whether or not ionized water is for you and if it will be a benefit to you. So let's get into it. First and foremost, ionized hydrogen water. It's good because honestly, it's the closest thing that we've ever been able to find to what water would have been like maybe 200, 300, 400 years ago, before we had the Industrial Revolution and we polluted the world with chemicals and heavy metals and all the crazy things. This is the closest thing we can find to what our great-great-great-great-grandparents would have been drinking. The idea behind ionized hydrogen water is we're not trying to upgrade water. We're not trying to biohack water. We're not trying to come up with some new revolutionary miracle technology that is going to just change everything. All we're trying to do is bring water back to how it was supposed to be coming out of nature, okay? And there's three main properties that ionized water has that make it so special. Number one being that it is, of course, ionized, which another word for saying that is that it's electrically charged. Through the process of ionization, a bunch of electricity gets pumped into the water and then stabilized and held with all of the ionic minerals, the calcium, magnesium, zinc, all that kind of stuff that's supposed to be in water. All of those minerals hold on to electricity, and then that electricity being in the minerals, which is in the water, gets delivered inside of our body and gives us more charge, gives us more electrons to work with and all that kind of stuff to function. And this is something that water has always been. This is not a new idea. This is not new technology. In fact, ionized water has been all that people have ever drank in, because the earth itself, the planet that we all live on, it is the first ionizer. It's the biggest ionizer. It's the baddest. It's the best. Water in nature is naturally ionized because of the Earth's ability to constantly pump out negative ions and electricity into the atmosphere, into the water, into the soil, into the trees and the animals and everything else. The Earth is constantly releasing negative ions into the atmosphere, which means that they get into the water. And so whenever you find water in nature that has not been touched by people, which is unfortunately almost impossible to find these days, it is going to naturally be ionized. It's going to naturally have a high negative charge because that's what the earth gave it. Unfortunately, after water gets pulled from nature, it gets run through a bunch of filtration systems and processing plants and goes through tons and tons of really, really old toxic metal pipes and a bunch of crazy things that we've done to water today. And by the time it gets into the bottle, gets into the Brita filter, gets into our tap, it no longer has that charge anymore because electricity is not stagnant. It's not going to just stand still forever. It's going to move and constantly be ebbing and flowing and all that kind of stuff. And so it's very, very hard to maintain that charge in water unless it's fresh from its electrical source, okay? That being the earth, or in this case, being a water ionizer, right? So that's number one. It's load zero like water with tons and tons of electricity, and that is super, super helpful for many, many reasons, which we'll go into later, for your body, all right? And that's the main reason why it works so quickly, because last time I checked, electricity is pretty fast, right? So you get a lot more of it in the body, you feel better, okay? Number two, through the process of ionization, one of the things that happens is the water gets loaded with something called molecular hydrogen. Now, molecular hydrogen, it is the single most well-known and well-studied, well-researched molecule on the planet. Hydrogen is the most abundant element in the whole flippin' universe. And as far as molecular hydrogen is concerned, it is a very powerful and potent antioxidant inside of our body. It is a miracle molecule if there ever was one. And because we have a ton of it inside of our drinking water, and because of the delivery system for that hydrogen being water, that means we can consume very, very high doses of this awesome molecule without any harm to our bodies, because the water can easily be passed through our system, so it's very hard to overdo it. But not just that, is that because it's coming in its molecular hydrogen form, it's a gas form, it could evaporate through our skin. So any excess, any extra that we consume that we can't immediately use or that isn't beneficial to the body, we can just purge out of ourselves without any risk or any harm. So a child can drink it, a baby can drink it, a pregnant woman can drink it, an elderly person can drink it, and it doesn't hurt anybody. So we get the most possible benefit without any risk involved or any symptoms because we can't overdo it, which is super amazing and pretty rare as far as antioxidants are concerned. So molecular hydrogen is phenomenal. That's reason number 2. And 3, when you take the bunch of electricity that's in the water and the molecular hydrogen in the water, that makes the solution that we're drinking, being the water, very alkalizing, okay? And alkalizing means that it can affect the pH of our body, it can neutralize excess acid, and it can help your own system better balance its pH, which is very important. There's so much research out there and so many people that talk about how when you have an elevated, more balanced, slightly alkaline pH, it becomes very, very hard for your body to get sick, for your immune system to become suppressed. It improves digestion, it improves cognitive function, it improves sleep, it improves so many things. And so when you take all those awesome things, which by themselves are amazing, and you put them all together into one thing, which is super easy to drink like water, it doesn't get any easier than that. You have created, honestly, one of the most powerful tools and technologies to improve people's health that I've ever seen in my entire career. And honestly, that's a big reason why I'm probably more passionate about water than I think any reasonable 26-year-old should be. But when you've seen water do what I've seen water do, where it can take somebody's pain away in a matter of minutes, when it can help people lose weight, when it can help people overcome a condition or a syndrome or a disorder, all these things, it just really puts into perspective how important water is for the body. And when you're talking about the bee's knees as far as quality of water is concerned, in this ionized hydrogen water, it gives you something to talk about, you know? So hopefully throughout the rest of this video, you'll get more and more information on why it's so amazing and why it's so awesome. But if you wanted a super quick, brief explanation for why we love it, that's it. It's loaded with electricity, which means it's living water. It's pumped up full of molecular hydrogen, which means it's a very powerful antioxidant. And because of those two things, it's very alkalizing to the body. So it can do a ton to help your system fight off the effects of acidosis and excess acid and all the inflammation and the diseases and the sicknesses that all come along with that stuff. The reason why people call it miracle water. They drink it and their pain goes away. They drink it and their sleep improves. They drink it and their bodies just work like they're supposed to because we're fixing something that's such a huge, huge part of our health, and that's our drinking water. I mean, our bodies are 75% of it. So the quality, either good or bad, is going to have a massive effect on the rest of us because water, it's involved in everything. It's involved in every organ, in every cell, in every tissue in our body. And the better that water is, the better all those things can work. All right? So carrying on, we're going to be talking about the problems with our modern drinking water and hopefully helping you guys understand why it's such a serious issue. And it's something that we all should look into and really, really take seriously because it's either going to be a big part of your health or a big part of your sickness. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. All right? See you in the next part.